I had to change my shirt, and that just kind of takes it all out of me, you know? And I'm exhausted. Need to take a break with a mushroom and Swiss burger. maybe a nap.
I'm not going to eat it. I'm just going to rub it on myself.
I'm going to lather my man tips up in Swiss cheese and pass out like a hero. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Rock and Roll, the podcast, featuring Dr. Nick Redbaum, Tom Nelson, and me,
Brock Johnson.
Today's show is brought to you by
Power Plant, car audio and accessories on Kimberly Road in Twin Falls, Idaho. That would be powerplantweb.com. Ooh, was that like a horn at the end?
Yeah, it was like the trailing outro.
It's like a little Earth, Wind, and Fire going on there.
You guys were back on your game that time.
Yeah, we nailed
look
it.
at it. Bringing it.
Yeah. Well, and I had been disappointed in Tom's performance over the last couple. The sponsor read over the last couple. But we also know that. Well, but it was Brock's fault.
What?
He just threw both of us under the bus.
Right, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, Tom, you kind of.
I tripped over one.
You tripped over one, and then, but both times that it sort of got fumbled, it was you fumbling, but Brock, he messed up the handoff. You know what I mean? To use a football reference.
Well, to be fair, Tom at least has the excuse because geriatrics can be complicated at times.
Oh.
I don't have an excuse.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Now it's back.
Yeah,
look what you did.
Podcast amongst yourself.
You had that hip replacement last week, huh?
Yesterday.
Second one, third one? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Any surgery, he has his hip surgery, babe.
Thanks,
welcome.
Sammy.
Welcome to Rock and Roll the Podcast, episode 38.
Wow,
We're almost there.
My age.
The eggs and the chili. What happened to the chili? Oh, the chili.
It's right there.
The
It's right there. We've added some things to
Yeah,
the
why
set.
don't you guys
this.
go ahead and explain what's happened here?
Well, we found some crap and put it on the table.
And that's been Rock and Roll the Podcast.
Well, you got to have a paint roller on the antenna so you can see the antenna. This is actually a hazard right here.
Oh, yeah,
you don't want to
eye out.
put an eye out.
Yeah. It gets pretty stabby at times.
Yeah.
And we like the dust on it because it is old.
Mm-hmm. And you got the old tube TV. I would almost bet that's a black and white television.
I'm sure it is. Yep.
And that is a Panasonic FM AM/FM receiver with an 8-track.
You know, I used to see those all the time at like the DI, and I always had intentions of buying one because I don't have any 8-tracks, but I have carts, which is essentially the same thing. Yeah. Now you can't find them.
No.
Now they're not even on the shelf.
Yeah, good luck with all of that. So don't come stealing our toys. Huh?
I've already got dibs on stealing that bad boy.
Damn right.
Especially the paint roller.
So Rock and Roll the Podcast, today we're going to be talking about, and I think it's going to kind of take a little bit of detour into album rock because, well, it'll have to, because we're going to talk about the great songs from the bands that we love that were not hits. The B-sides, the album cuts. In radio, we call them the deep cuts, the stuff that never makes it into like a regular rotation. This is the stuff that, like if we do a specialty show, like during my noon show on The Edge, I'll do what I call Nick's Pick, a deep cut from a band that I dig, and I'll play it as a feature. And you'll see DJs do that. You'll see, bands will even do that on their own media. But for the most part, the music industry, it bases itself on hits.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that we all have, everybody that's into rock and roll, you're going to have that great cut or two that never really got the light of it. They might not have even played it live.
Oh, yeah.
But you find that you absolutely love it. And I think, especially when you get bands with much bigger discographies, it's way, like the Stones have put out, most people don't know this, the Stones have put out 114 albums.
In one day.
I don't.
It was a long Tuesday.
That's a great, for instance. How big is the Stones discography?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Even if you don't count the compilation albums.
Right. I'm talking like just studio albums.
I can't give you a count. I don't know. I'm not sure.
20, 30. I mean, is that ballpark?
I would say close to 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing it for 50 years at this point, for sure. And I mean, even Green Day, who's been around since
88.
Okay, since 88. How many?
Technically, Sweet Children was 87. They were Sweet Children transitioning into Green Day between 88 and 89, and then officially Green Day in 1990. I want to say.
Okay.
The name actually happened.
So how many albums there?
Oh boy, you've got 1039. You've got Kerplunk. You have Dookie, Insomniac, Nimrod, Warning, Uno, Dose, Trey, American Idiot, got ahead of myself, 21st Century Breakdown, and then you got Revolution Radio, and Father of All Motherfuckers, so 13.
Wow.
That list brought to you by Power Plant.
Power Plant, Power Plant, Power Plant. For God's sake. Can you give it to me just once?
Ruined the whole Green Day theme.
And actually, you could actually say 14 if you wanted, because they put out 39 Smooth as an EP.
Okay.
And then they put out Slappy as an EP.
Okay, so together that's a record.
Yeah, well, yeah, then when they signed to Lookout, they were fused together, and actually I think they were on Lookout with those first two EPs, but those fused into 1039 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours, which now counts as one.
Okay, you know what I'd like to do? Like, I would love to find some sort of way to celebrate when you have a Green Day moment, because your Green Day moments are deep.
Yeah.
When you have a Green Day moment, I would love to find a way to celebrate, like fireworks, or, I mean, it's not like I can light a Whistling Pete down here in the studio, but maybe on our big friend of the green screen, just some sort of a recognition that Brock went deep on Green Day.
Yeah.
And, technically...
and it's a green screen, so really...
You could count Shenanigans, too, because that was a compilation, but it was a compilation of a bunch of rare stuff that, Desensitized, which was a B-side on the Hitchin' a Ride single, but only the import version from, Germany. And, JAR, Jason Andrew Relva, which was on the Angus soundtrack that not a lot of people knew. And that kind of... So 14?
Wow, bro.
I got a problem. I would be one of those fans because I met them once, and I had every conversation in the world planned in my head, and then I finally got there to shake their hands, and all I could say was, "I'm Brock," and he said, "I'm Billy."
At least you got your name right.
Yeah, I mean, I got that right. But I would be one of those, if I actually opened the gate and opened my mouth with the vast collection of nonsense that I know about they would call security.
Yeah, you'd be escorted
I would
out.
be incarcerated,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
You know who else is a big Green Day fan?
Who?
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Remember, Rock and Roll the Podcast, the only podcast powered by Rutherford B. Hayes.
I'm sorry, I was cheering up a bit. That's okay. It's dust from all this crap.
And your little allergies flaring up. You got to eat your mic. You've been the culprit this time.
Really? Has it been bad? Well,
yeah.
we'll see how the audio looks. I'm worried about it because I'm the loudest guy in the room anyway, because I think I'm the deafest person in the room.
What? Probably.
Huh?
Have I ever told you the story about the time I was doing a morning show on, I think it was Hot 100. Yeah, it was. And I was complaining about not hearing something. And a very nice lady who runs a hearing clinic in Twin Falls shot me a note. She's like, why don't you come in for a free hearing test? We'll do a little thing about it. I'm like, okay. So I went in and went through the whole test, and she came out and she's like, well... I guess I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that your hearing is fine. The bad news is that you can tell your wife she's correct and that you have selective hearing.
Oh, gotcha.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with my ears. It was just me being an idiot.
Now, I went and had a hearing test too, and they said, your right ear, not great. Your left ear, and I said, what? That's the one that has the most damage. So congratulations to me. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So let's take a look. We already know. We've touched on your favorite. We've touched on your favorite. We know it's going to go to Zeppelin at some point.
I was going to say,
really?
Zeppelin. How many albums?
Zeppelin. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, Presence. In Through the Outdoor, and then Coda was it was after Bonham had died, and they just kind of swept up the leavings in the studio and made a compilation at the end. So technically nine studio albums. But even in that relatively small, compared to some of their bands, some of their contemporaries, there are still songs that were never hits, that were never big, but I think they're fantastic tunes. And And I think that they would only work in the context of the album they find themselves in.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you can take, for instance, I'll start. The song, it's from their last studio album, In Through the Outdoor. There's a song called Hot Dog. And it's a country song. It's a straight up country song. And it's sort of goofy. It's talking about a girlfriend leaving him and he'll never go to Texas anymore. I mean, it's very tongue-in-cheek, a jokey kind of tune. But when you look at it in the grand scheme of that album, where it was like they kind of knew that they were moving in a new direction and they wanted to do, try different stuff, but their sense of humor was still there. That album has In My Time, is it In My Time of Dying? They've got a very, very dark vibe to the album, and then this goofy little tune out of nowhere. It works in context there because it lightens up the darker moods. Whereas it might not have worked on a record where they were trying to be a little bit more continuous as far as what they were putting.
Thematic or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't have fit on the same record as Stairway to Heaven or Kashmir.
Right.
But yeah.
Hot Dog, I don't think I've heard it.
Most people haven't. And it's a totally goofy, sort of tongue-in-cheek joke tune,
but it kind of fits the mold of what they were doing at the time.
Exactly.
And another thing, going back a couple of episodes, that'll make that a huge difference is if an artist is working with different producers.
Right.
Sometimes if you go like way back, you can still tell it's the same band, but it almost sounds like a different band just because the guy who was producing the record is different.
Very absolutely.
Now, I would imagine your dudes and your dudes both have probably worked with the same. I don't know. Your dudes have probably outlived their producers.
They've worked with all the producers.
They've probably lost producers along the way.
Yeah, a few of them are gone.
Yeah. Zeppelin never had a producer. It was all Jimmy Page. He produced always. Every one of them.
That just makes it even cooler.
Yep.
When you find out they're doing it.
Yep. He produced all of it, and then all of the reissues and everything else, and the digital remasters and the BBC sessions and everything. Jimmy Page had 100% control over all of it based on the contract he signed in 1968.
Wow.
That's a smart man or had a good agent.
Absolutely. Well, both. Both for sure. But anyway, what is a great B side from the Stones that if you had to suggest one that is still a great Stones tune, but it wouldn't have worked as a hit, as a push, what would it be?
Well, there's a plethora of those.
Yeah, it's not fair. You've got so much material to dig through.
I would go with Sister Morphine, which was off of Sticky Fingers. Okay. But the best version of that song they put out on a live album 27 years later.
Oh, wow.
It's on No Security, the Bridges to Babylon tour, 1998, and the live version of Sister Morphine, which was written by Marianne Faithfull, Mick Jagger's girlfriend in the 60s.
Wow.
And, she's her own
muse, she's her own.
She's a powerhouse.
Yeah. And she was the drummer for Rush.
Really?
She was not.
She could have been.
Hold on. This just in. Scandal erupts on the set of Rock and Roll the Podcast as Dr. Nick straight lies about Rush. More on this and the Canadian reaction to come. Back to you, Tom. That was the Canadian reaction.
Yeah. I got that down pretty good.
Okay, but anyway, Sister Morphine.
Yeah, and I suggest you give it a listen. Listen to the live cut if you can. But it's about drug addiction.
Okay.
But it's just got a sweet hook. It's like 6 minutes long.
Okay.
You got a sweet hook, baby.
Thank you, my man.
And that's been Rock and Roll the Podcast.
I think what would be fun in the bottom of the podcast, and I make no promises, but you close the podcast at least 5 times during the episode.
It's true. I do.
It's your go-to. Yeah. Like it reminds me of back in the day, I had to work with radio consultants, and one consultant gave me this great. And I mean, this was a smart guy, and he was talking about the first exit strategy, which every baby DJ should learn.
Yeah.
If you're doing a break on the radio, get out. The first opportunity you have to shut your mouth and move on.
Yep. Do it.
Yeah.
And it's like that is your first exit strategy.
Well,
he just suggested kissing Tom. Why don't? That's it. Bye.
That's it. Exactly.
And then you go to break, and there's a Geico ad.
Yeah. When the show starts to veer into disturbing, somewhat questionable, nightmarish content, that's when I try to close the show, knowing full well you two bastards will never let that happen.
No.
Usually it's about 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
It really is. We're getting worse at this instead of better.
So, Sister Morphine. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, well,
Okay.
that's it right there,
Okay,
man.
then what about you there, Broccoli?
There's so many with. Are you talking about my favorite Stones?
Sure.
Stones. My favorite Stones B-side has got to be "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
Okay. Or
Dive! I don't know.
No, I don't know enough
trying
about.
to escape the depth charges.
I don't know
We're on a
enough about the
submarine.
Stones. But for Green Day, I don't know, and it may have just been when I was really I could not get enough of the band, which has pretty much been always. But in particular, it was like the Insomniac to Nimrod era.
Okay.
There were so many that came off of Nimrod, like I had already talked about Desensitized.
Okay.
And then there was Rotting, which was a B-side. And by the way, you no longer have to pay for the $17 import to get the single with the B-side because now there is Shenanigans, which is a collection of everything. So there was Rotting and there was You Lied. You Lied is probably one of my favorite Green Day songs, and it was never a hit.
Okay.
It was never even an album cut.
And I think that's one of the things that I like about a band that does album rock. This does tie back into album rock. Today, it's all about writing that hit, that 3.5 minute, radio friendly hook that's going to get you there and get you in front of people and blah blah blah. But back in the day, there wasn't so much a thought of that. That was for the labels to figure out later. The artists might be writing with a single in mind, but they didn't neglect the rest of the album. And unfortunately, I think that we talked about it on this show before, that the album as an art form is in danger.
Yeah. So you were going right where I was going to go. It goes back to, I think we would back in the day would track both sides of an album. You bought the album because maybe this hit was on it, but you were going to get your money's worth and listen to all of it. And that's when you stumbled on these B-sides, these deep cuts. You're like, oh, this is even better than the hit. Yeah. But that's when you had the time. We were all distracted with all the social media and whatever it might be. And I sound really old now, don't I?
Yeah.
But
you sure do.
Man, that's right.
It's that damn hip.
There it goes.
But you would sit there, you would track an album. Maybe you'd have a little friend there with you, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Captain Smokey.
Hey.
And you would track that Bad Boy album.
Captain Smokey. I just pictured Captain Crunch, but his eyes are just wrecked.
Right? I'll show you my berries, man.
Whoa!
See, dive!
That's our second depth charge escape of the show, if you're keeping track.
30.
Really?
30.
Was that the first time you had sex? Is it? What?
No, it was the last time he had sex.
Damn, that's right. That's how many Stones albums there are.
30 albums.
There are 30? Yeah.
Look at you pulling that out. Fantastic.
Thanks to the Googles.
Oh, did you cheat?
No.
Hey, cheated.
Okay. So, and you look at some of these quote unquote B-sides. And I'll touch on Zeppelin again just for a minute. Zeppelin was a band that didn't necessarily write for radio. Radio found them. They were the biggest band in the world. But if you look at Zeppelin 4, the Zoso album, the one that everybody knows, it had rock and roll, it had Black Dog, it had Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Now, those are probably the big three. I mean, as radio guys, those are the big three radio staples from that record, for sure, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But without the album happening, you wouldn't have gotten When the Levee Breaks, The Battle Evermore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Those songs would be considered quote unquote deep cuts, and yet they're still so vitally important to the Led Zeppelin discography and song catalog. Who's to say, it's the labels that are deciding what the A's and B's are. Mm-hmm. I don't think the artists, for at least back then, I think they thought all of those songs were precious. They would eventually be told, okay, we're going to get behind this one. Yeah. But it would have to be, as an artist, that would have to be tough to know that one baby is going to turn into an all-time great hit and the other one might make it to the back of the second single.
Yeah, let's put this other one on the back. And, there's probably a little bit of strategy going on. They're like, well, let's not have two potential hits on the same record because that way we're just, selling that record once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
two different records.
Yeah, for sure.
Powerful A sides with then the B side.
Right.
It was kind of, I think, maybe the attitude now, too, Brock, with the record company.
While we were talking, when we were having a pretty in-depth conversation, you went quiet and got onto your phone. Now, were you looking up a recipe? Were you ordering a pizza? Because right now, all I see is a picture of Gary Busey.
Well,
here's what happened. No. No.
Go ahead.
I think what happened was you dropped a big Brock-shaped hole in the middle of the goddamn show to look up a picture of Gary Busey. Prove me I'm wrong.
So here's what happened. I went to the phone because you guys have your phones, and you have for every episode.
Sure.
You've gotten very good about looking at the phone without actually looking at the phone.
Right.
So this morning,
because first of all, you're shitty at it. By the way.
because my phone is the camera, so I don't have a cheat device.
Right.
So I grabbed this phone, which was purchased when I was in Wyoming here a couple months ago.
Okay.
And it was just a little prepaid junker. I needed it because hotel internet was crap, and
it was a burner phone.
it was a burner phone, right? And so it's been sitting at my house. This morning, I'm like, God, I could use that
to look up pictures of Gary Busey
as my cheat sheet. And so, I had to test the connection because I didn't know if it was locked to the provider or if I could just hop onto Wi-Fi and use it like a tablet.
So that's what you did.
My internet test was searching for a picture of Gary Busey.
I want you to open
my
your
internet
screen up.
test is always looking for a picture of Gary Busey.
Show the camera your picture of Gary Busey. Meanwhile, there's a party going on just outside of mic range.
Holy God, there is something happening.
There sure is. There sure is. There we go.
There.
Okay. Ladies and
Awesome.
gentlemen, it's Gary Busey. Lucky us.
That's been my, no joke, that's been my internet test forever. Is to go to Google Images and search for Gary Busey. That proves to me that I can use the phone. So now it's ready. But since you already told me I'm shitty at looking at it, I'm just...
Well, you're just...
done.
No.
This one...
Screw it. It's gone.
Ooh. I was just making sure it didn't break. You almost broke your phone.
Well,
This one
$40
doesn't bring up
service.
This one doesn't bring up Gary Busey. Samsung, what a piece of shit.
Call 3.
Dial
is it 3?
Busey is 3.
Oh, there he is.
And that was rock and roll.
And that's
just,
3.
It's all just falling apart.
Is that the boss yelling upstairs?
Our boss is hollering up there like an extra from an old Western. You know what I mean?
It's Slim Pickens' long-lost brother.
Exactly. He's not in front of the camera with John Wayne. He's somewhere in the back of the saloon going,
Give me a shot of red eye.
Exactly. You got any sarsaparilla?
Oh, wow. Well, and I think he's visiting with the Muppet.
Oh, there you go.
We all know that. I mean, the Muppet has crashed the podcast before.
Oh, so many
man.
times. This show is a garbage fire.
I kind of like it.
I do too.
It's fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for you,
it
but
really is. We hope you're enjoying
the
it.
subscriber count says that it's fun for at least a few a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it's going up.
And the numbers continue to
Yeah.
go up.
man.
And that, of course, means that we've got to thank Power Plant.
Power Plant. Power Plant.
Power Plant.
God damn. Guys, why? Why is the clap at the, I mean, it's a running bit. I get it.
Yeah.
But God, that is just
I wanted to be a drummer.
Yeah. And
When
for
I was
me,
younger.
it just adds
legitimate excuse. What's yours,
It adds
dumbass?
It adds a little bit of south of the border
lying.
flair. A little, it's just like it's like an Olay. that we throw
You
at
know
the
what?
end.
You know what? Maybe to make the clap work for me. Maybe I need to get some maracas. So
see,
it's power
yes.
plant,
Yep.
and you guys do your stupid clap bullshit.
all right.
And then
God, and if you had a sombrero,
Maracas.
if you had a
do I
sombrero,
need to rock a sombrero and
Maybe.
maracas
Maybe.
every time? I mean, it would make the clap fun.
And we could put some Mexican wrestlers on the back screen. That's always fun with their masks on.
And Gary Busey.
And Gary
Gary
goddamn
Busey.
Busey. You're damn right.
That's right.
So, I was watching the video from the last podcast. And by the way, Brock, you're crushing it on the producer.
Oh, absolutely.
On the product you're putting out.
Oh,
right now. You
thanks,
really are
guys.
crushing
Yeah.
it. Boy,
thanks.
I looked super fat. That last
you're getting super fat.
I looked terrible.
It's
I've actually lost weight, and I saw myself, and I looked like You know what? I looked like somebody dyed the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man blueberry blue.
here's the thing.
Shit, I looked bad.
This is fat. You were about dead like
Okay.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you look happy.
Are you sure?
I don't think.
'Cause
Well,
I
I
didn't
mean,
look happy.
no, that's just me. No, you're getting fat.
Okay,
Happy.
Thank you. Because you implied that I'm just going to continue to get fat, and that's fantastic.
That's not going to stop, but that means you're happy.
well, thank you.
Just don't let happy get out of control.
So that's why I decided I'm wearing a black shirt, and the hoodie's never coming off.
The dark, you can't go wrong with that.
This is what happens when
Yeah.
happy meets the Golden Corral.
That's what happens when Happy meets the Swiss mushroom burger.
I got a zit in my left butt cheek.
What happened to your left butt cheek?
It's got a pimple on it.
Do you really have a pimple on your left ass cheek?
No, I'm making that shit up.
Okay, good. Because you know what? My fear was
I didn't how we looked, and you
I
can't see my left butt cheek, but it's still,
I just didn't want us to have to address your ass. You know what I mean? And you brought it up, and I thought there for a minute we were going to have to go deep.
Well, and they're also known as the apples.
That got weird, but not until later.
You bet.
Yeah.
That was not. It was almost worthy of a dive call, but not quite.
Almost. Yeah. And then something else happened this week. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. If we could have done the podcast yesterday, it wouldn't have happened. Once again, Tommy doesn't know how to lock the bathroom door.
It happened again?
It happened again. And I was this close to walking in on Tommy and the little Lutheran having a service.
With some Sacramento wine.
Okay, look, I'm just saying, I told you how to lock the door. There's no reason why you couldn't lock the door.
We've established the fact that I'm a little on the older side. And so when I go to the little DJ's room, I'm usually in a hurry. And I walk in there and I do the one finger turn on that lock, but sometimes I don't do it good.
Yeah, you
want me to cut you a little?
You didn't do it at all.
I could cut you a little wood wedge so that you could just kind of kick it over from once you're on the crab, but we can just set it strategically so that if you miss the lock, you can just kind of slide the wedge over.
It's like a backup.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
So I opened the bathroom door and I hear, ho, hey there,
hey, ho,
hey, ho, ho.
That's my standard response to
hey, ho, hey, ho. So I just, look, I saw myself fat, and then I saw myself fat again. And then I almost saw the little Lutheran. And so it's been a rough week, man.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week. I'm going to wear black, and I'm going to ask that you lock the bathroom door, because I don't ever want, Tom, there's a list of things I never want to see. You know what I mean? And that's one of them.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
I'll bring
you hear angels and stuff. It'd be great.
Nope.
I'll bring you a wedge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please, God, you know what? When you bring him a wedge, you're bringing us all a wedge, if you know what I mean. And thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Remember, friends don't let friends see the little Lutheran. Now we need the...
the more you know. Yeah.
You want one more?
Yeah, let's
set it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, kids, friends don't let friends see the little Lutheran. And that's one to grow on.
Or you can have a shot of Martin Luther. We have to go like this.
Do we go there? Do we put Martin Luther up?
Is there a picture of Martin Luther?
I don't know, man.
I don't think there's going to be a picture of Martin. I mean,
probably not.
I'm guessing there's no pictures.
Then put up Gary Busey and label him as Martin Luther.
Okay, sure.
It's done like this.
That's Gary Busey.
I'm Gary Busey.
In The Life and Times of Martin Luther.
You thought the Buddy Holly story was good.
Oh, God.
Nothing on Martin Luther.
He did play Buddy Holly.
Yes, he did.
And they got him.
Gary Busey play Buddy Holly.
He did, man.
Yeah, it was when he was skinny and he was only kind of crazy, but he still had Gary Busey teeth. Yeah. So it was perfect.
But his jaw was centered and not over here.
Yeah. Yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug, Gary Busey. Man.
You do a really good Busey.
Thank you, man. I think.
I have a fear whenever we have something like this happen. I have a fear secretly that somewhere now in the mythology of this show, Gary Busey's going to show up more.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, you know what he's great. Never mind. I don't want to give away an idea I have. It'll give itself away as we continue to do it, but I think you guys are really going to like it. That's how I keep you in suspense. Ooh. I almost let you inside the show, and then I slam the door right on you, just like we wish Tommy would do, and then lock.
I was going to say, we brought up the little Lutheran, though, didn't we?
Oh! Did you say take out the little Lutheran? Did you just say that?
No, we brought out. We brought up the little Lutheran.
But you said brought out.
You said out.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm going to take it out.
No, you absolutely are not. No, you 100% are not. Nope. Hey, everybody who wants to see the Little Lutheran, make sure to go check out Tom's new podcast, Tommy and the Little Lutheran. Episode 3 dropping yesterday, wherever our podcast is not.
Brought to you by Mogan David, the Sacramento wine for all Lutheran churches.
Is that true?
They like the Mogan David. Did you?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Whoa, yeah, because you guys are both raised Lutheran.
I took a lot of communion in my day.
Okay, yeah. Did you still go to Lutheran church?
Do I still now?
Yeah.
No, but I know where one's at.
Well, you're going to burn in hell.
Doing better than me.
Remember,
I'm there in my heart.
All of us are going to burn. But that's okay. So are our favorite bands, which I think we've covered clearly.
Yeah, that is going to be one hell of a show.
It really is. Now, here's one. We've already named like big bands, but think about the biggest band in the world, the biggest band there ever was, the Beatles. What about their B-sides? Now, those guys were the kings of hits. Everything they wrote sounded like a perfect hit. But they had songs that were not only B-sides, but I'm going to go so far as to say maybe the Beatles had a bad song or two. Okay, for instance.
Everyone's track record isn't 100%.
From the White Album, did we need Glass Onion? I don't think we did. You know what I mean? Like the White Album.
Is that an album cut or is that a B-side?
That's an album cut. Okay. I don't think it was. I don't even think it ever even hit a B-side at that point.
No, but I've heard it on classic rock radio.
Have you, in rotation?
I think I've played it before, not here.
In rotation? Or as a feature?
It's probably like a
feature.
Drop it in, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I mean,
Now we go way back. 1996.
Look at you. You sound like somebody who's voiced some of that bullshit before.
Once or twice.
I bet you have. I bet you. And now we go way back. 1973. That was the year I was born. That's why I just wanted to say 1973.
But on that format, it's got to immediately be followed by cheesy lasers.
Oh, yeah.
1973. 3.
Oh, you guys did an imaging thing together. That was
Look
awesome.
at that. This is a huge podcast.
That's insider radio stuff. The bullshit you hear in between the songs, if it's not one of us talking and it's not a commercial, then what it is, and it's not a song or it's not a song piece, it's imaging. So that's what we call them. The zaps and whistles and goofy lines in between stuff. That's imaging.
The voice guy or the imaging voiceover, to be specific. On 103.1 The Edge, for example, we hired a pack of Marlboro cigarettes.
It's true. He sounds like one giant testicle with a voice box. It's true. Now, and we should actually mention this. Brock, our very own Brock Johnson, is a nationally known voiceover guy.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. I mean, he does stuff. I'm not making this up.
No, it's true.
This is legit. Brock's voice is everywhere.
You got to be careful though, and I'll own it here because for the most part, this is a local thing.
Okay,
but a lot of things that I ended up doing during the pandemic were not the things that I wanted to do. So if you wake up with a hangover at 3 a.m. and wander to the bathroom to take a piss, don't buy the UV light that I'm telling you to buy on Comedy Central at 3 a.m.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Johnson made it to Comedy Central. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm never going to make it to Comedy Central. Yeah. Wow.
I just have a zit in my left butt cheek.
We established.
See how
you brought it full
and
circle?
I lied about it.
Yeah, you brought it full circle. You really did. That was good
full
job.
Circle,
Thank you, man.
Full circle would mean that the Little Lutheran was slapped up here making a presentation. No, don't actually.
I promise you, if I see the Little Lutheran, that is the last episode of Rock and Roll the Podcast. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be near it. I mean, I guess you guys could do it without me. But I just can't be. I don't.
No, we're the three amigos, man.
Why you gotta be like that?
Yeah. Okay.
This is a team sport.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'd be the three amigos until you took out the Little Lutheran. Then we would be four amigos for too long. You know what I mean? And then I'm out.
Hey, you're moving up. You hear it?
And now he's talking to it and telling it got a promotion. And on that note, that's Rock and Roll the Podcast.
Are we done now for
I
real?
think we gotta be done. Tommy took us right to the edge of where the bad really starts, and he looked at me with that crazy look in his eye, like Thelma and Louise at the end of the movie. He wanted to hold hands and drive over the Pecker Ledge, and I will not be a part of the Pecker Ledge.
Don't close your eyes.
Okay. We want to thank our sponsor, and of course we want to thank you guys for being a part of this awfulness that we just continue to do over and over again. And we are coming up on episode 40. Please, pretty please, like and subscribe and share this with somebody, share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with somebody, because we love you and we're trying to grow this thing, just like Tommy and the Little Lutheran.
Where are we? Our subscriber count last time I looked, it was 111. Are we 111 still?
I think it's a little more than 111 now. I think maybe. I'm not sure.
This week, yeah.
I'm not sure. Counting's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Until the next time, though, and I'm sure it'll be next week. Oh, no, it won't be. Ooh,
no,
I'm glad.
Next week is a best of kind of thing.
It's going to be a video best of. I am taking a week off, so I won't be anywhere near a microphone for a week.
Bit of a sabbatical.
Yes, I need a break. But I will be back the week following, so no episode 39 next week, unless just call it a best of, because it shouldn't be an actual episode.
Well, going back to the album theory, do you consider the greatest hits one of the albums?
No.
Nope.
I never have.
Nope.
So the week after next will be episode 39.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just in time for Father's Day, we'll eat pickled eggs and chili.
Yeah.
And I'll watch and call the doctor.
And drink the Jepson's Malort.
No, I won't. Until the next time,
Tres Flores.
my name's Dr. Nick. That's Brock the Liar.
He was going
That's
to drink
Tommy,
the Tres
keeper
Flores.
of the Little Lutheran. Peace, love, and rock and roll. We're out of here.